So as we're nearing the end of 2016, we figured it might be a good time to make a video with our hopes and dreams for 2017 in terms of MMORPGs coming out. This is a personal top 10, which by no means makes it official in any form, so please keep that in mind when watching the video. Also, this is my first time doing a top 10, so that both Wiggy and I know if it was any good and whether or not we should do anything like this in the future. Alright, so starting off at number 10 is Bless Online. Graphically speaking, Bless Online looks great. It does. There's no denying that. It has giant, beautiful open-world landscapes and some great-looking character customization. Bless also sports a feature similar to Dragon's Prophet or more recently Riders of Icarus, where you're given the ability to capture and tame monsters in the wild, ultimately turning them into a companion or mount. One of Bless's drawbacks, though, is its terrible combat system. It's clunky and incredibly boring, really detaching you from the game if fun, fluid combat's something that really attracts you to it. The other problem is that it's published by Area Games, a publisher known to royally screw over their player base in favor of its cash shop. That really shouldn't deter you from playing it, however. I just thought it was something worth pointing out. At number 9, we have the crowdfunded MMORPG Crowfall. Yes, crowdfunded. The team behind Crowfall raised over $1.7 million for its upcoming Game of Thrones-inspired epic, wherein you're required to join a faction and fight for control of the land. Unlike most MMORPGs, you don't start at level 1, grind, or do quests. Instead, you're instantly thrown right into the end game where you're given the option to literally do anything you feel like doing. Also unlike other MMORPGs, Crowfall's world dies. Yeah. After a certain amount of time passes, winter approaches, and the world you've been inhabiting begins to die. When this happens, players need to find a new world to move on to. Each world has their own unique campaign that plays out through the world's life. This should keep the game feeling alive, as the world will likely be constantly changing. Crowfall's combat isn't anything great, nor its cel-shaded graphics, but they definitely feel high enough quality to not detract from the overall game. Coming in at number 8, we have Twilight Spirits. Taking inspiration from the Devil May Cry series, Twilight Spirits has a fairly strong focus on fast-paced action combat. According to NetEase, the developers behind Twilight Spirits, the game is going to have a strong PvP presence at endgame, featuring arenas, battlegrounds, and guild vs. guild wars. Twilight Spirits is set to be a dungeon-based MMORPG in the vein of Vindictus, spouting over 60 unique dungeons to make your way through over the course of the game. Graphically, the game couldn't look better if it tried. Judging by what I've seen so far, the game looks amazing. China has really been knocking South Korea off the top spot with attention to character customization, and if Twilight Spirits gives you the option to create your own character, you'll understand why. Overall, the game is absolutely gorgeous, and I cannot wait for it to come out to the West. At number 7, we have the upcoming MMORPG Soul Worker Online. Another game taking inspiration from Vindictus, Soul Worker Online sports over 100 unique dungeons to battle through with friends in fast-paced action combat. Soul Worker Online features multiple different classes to choose from, with the exception of each class being gender-locked. Yeah. Some people may be turned away by this, as I've personally seen it happen before with games like Terra, but for most of you it really shouldn't be a problem. Unlike most of the games in this list, Soul Worker Online unfortunately doesn't offer you much in the vein of character creation. However, it does offer quite a few unique outfits that are obtainable through dungeons. Graphically speaking, Soul Worker Online isn't the most amazing looking MMORPG in our list, however it does have a very anime feel to it, which is something lacking in today's MMO scene. Most MMORPGs released nowadays tend to be either Chinese or South Korean, so it's nice seeing another anime-inspired MMORPG come out. At number 6, we have another crowd-funded MMORPG, Chronicles of Illyria. Having raised over $1.3 million, Chronicles of Illyria is setting itself up to be a very different kind of MMORPG. Not only are the resources around its world finite, but it has a fully destructible environment, player-driven economy, and most importantly, your character ages, inevitably dying. While this doesn't necessarily spell the end for your journey, as Chronicles of Illyria has a functional marriage system that allows you to have children that you can play as, it does ultimately mean that you're required to plan your character's life out if you want it to have any meaning. This gives Chronicles of Illyria a very different sense of playstyle, since instead of leveling from level 1 to whatever the level cap is, then spending all day running dungeons or raiding, you instead have to think about what your plan is in that life. Deep, right? Next up at number 5, we have Lost Ark, a top-down isometric MMORPG similar to Diablo 3. While the graphics have been notably downgraded since its original announcement, the game still looks pretty amazing. From what I've personally seen, Lost Ark's combat seems good enough to be fun, but generally nothing too groundbreaking, as it's still similar enough to other MMOs released prior to it. Not much has been revealed about it yet though, so unfortunately we're unable to really delve too far into it. Coming in at number 4, we have a personal favorite of mine, Moonlight Blade. I've been a fan of wuxia-themed movies ever since I saw Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon when I was a kid. Since then I've wanted to try a game that captured that wuxia-style martial arts that I saw in subsequent movies firsthand. Moonlight Blade seems to partially bring that to life, as I've personally played through multiple hours of the game, and even though I'm unable to really understand any of it, I've found that the game captures quite a lot of the fun I saw in the movies. Generally speaking, the game is gorgeous, but what do you expect? I mean, it's an MMORPG out of China. Although the character creation can be a little limited compared to other MMORPGs out of both China and South Korea, you are able to make some outstandingly beautiful avatars. And the combat, whew, the combat is a lot of fun, being a mixture of, like, Terra and Blade and Soul. We're now closing in on the top 3 MMORPGs coming out in 2017. At number 3 we have the ridiculously hyped successor to the Lineage series, Lineage Eternal. Although not much yet is known regarding Lineage Eternal, what we've seen is a more polished, faster version of Lost Ark's combat system that both looks and feels visually superior. NCSoft have also cited that similar to Guild Wars 2, Lineage Eternal will feature both open-world dynamic events along with large, powerful world bosses. Number 2 is one of the few high-quality Japanese releases in recent memory. Period Chronicles is an absolutely beautiful-looking anime-inspired sandbox MMORPG that offers players the option to not only create their own houses and towns, which in itself is a very unique aspect to the game, but also quests that other players are capable of accepting, similar to Neverwinter. Period Chronicles offers players a fast action combat style that utilizes unique pets that you're able to obtain throughout the game. Although not a lot of information has been released around the game, its cute anime style, action combat, and unique features make this one of my personal most look forward to MMORPGs of 2017. I'm also an anime fan as well, so that makes me part of the demographic that'll likely enjoy this. I'm sure this is a huge surprise for all of you, but if you haven't already guessed it by now, then coming in at number 1 is Revelation Online. We have yet to try it out personally, but it is going into beta testing on November 3rd, 2016, so we plan on being one of the first players onto the server. Revelation Online has a huge open world, which is a key selling point for me personally, having heavily enjoyed open world games like The Elder Scrolls and World of Warcraft when I was younger. Another key selling point is the fact that it gives players the option to fly. Yeah, flying. Exploring the large open world without penalty, similar to what people believed Ion allowed you to do before being disappointed with its restrictions. Revelation Online boasts a large amount of unique dungeons, completable on multiple different difficulties, similar to World of Warcraft for example, along with solo dungeons for forever aloners out there. Revelation Online features battlegrounds, arenas, 5v5, 10v10, 20v20, open world PvP, sieges, and more that people that want to enjoy the PvP aspect of the game can enjoy. Okay, so graphically speaking, Revelation Online doesn't do anything groundbreaking, but the graphics are really, really great quality. Revelation Online also allows marriage between players for all you lucky bastards out there that play with your girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouse. Lastly, and probably most importantly for a lot of you out there, the combat seems really nice and fast-paced. It seems a little reminiscent of Terra for those of you out there that have played it. So if you enjoyed Terra's combat, you'll likely enjoy the combat in Revelation Online as well. The one single concern I have with the game personally is who it's being published by. My.com, the group behind Allods Online and Skyforge. Yeah. Although I'm sure this has been brought up many, many times in the past by a multitude of reviewers. I want to voice my concerns, and I do hope that it doesn't end up being pay to win. That marks the end of my list for the top 10 MMORPGs of 2017, or At least my top 10 most anticipated personally. If you guys are looking forward to anything on this list, or anything not included on this list, let us know down in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you have to say about this top 10 list, whether or not we should continue doing more top 10s in the future, and would love to know if you guys know of any good ones we've missed. Thanks for the support so far, guys, and we'll see you later.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light